Hello everybody, this is the Magickal Rabbit, and welcome to RabbitLore. I am honored to get to speak with you about some of the most fabulous, fantastic animals to grace Terra, rabbits and hares. RabbitLore is a vast topic which can include biology, the trickster rabbit archetype, the moon rabbit archetype, rabbit idioms, and more. I decided to make today's video more topically specific rather than comprehensive, since I want these videos to be of the highest possible quality. I'm a believer in the theater adage, always leave them wanting more. If this video is well received, I will have plenty of motivation to return to this topic at another time. Today we focus on rabbits as luck and prosperity symbols. I also note that rabbit and hare will be used interchangeably in this video, except where otherwise stated. Not because they are the same, but because in folklore, the difference isn't often addressed or really is all that meaningful. First, we need to address one question. Why are rabbits considered lucky? It actually isn't a very difficult question to answer, although it is layered. But first I want to define terms. Rabbits and hares are part of the order Lapridae. No, I'm just kidding. I probably don't need to define rabbit, but I do need to define luck and prosperity. Luck colloquially refers to the forces outside a person's control, or happening by chance. We tend to think of luck as unearned advantage or undeserved disadvantage. The fickle nature of the universe acting without clear reason. Prosperity, by contrast, refers to a state of being prosperous, to flourish, to have abundance, especially in relation to material wealth and success. As we continue, please ponder the ways that both luck and prosperity are part of the symbology of rabbits and are active forces in our lives. Remember my previous video where Oberon Zell Ravenheart defined magic as coincidence control. The reason hares are symbols of luck and prosperity is largely the same. They are symbols of fertility in long times past. Where we had agrarian communities, children were not a cost, they were an asset. Children, once old enough to do chores, began contributing to the daily work of a farm. So beyond platitudes, having children really was a blessing in a financial sense, as well as an emotional one. Perhaps no animal is more well known for having many children than the rabbit. This is why the rabbit has started to be seen as a symbol for increasing wealth, which can be done by both luck, gambling for example, and prosperity, having a successful business. Rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. No, the stress hasn't finally gotten to me. I'm actually demonstrating a folk tradition of the UK and North America. The tradition to say rabbit, rabbit, rabbit on the first of the month, just after waking up. The 1st of March is supposed to be especially auspicious. Saying this ensures good luck that month. Some known variants of the tradition are saying rabbits, plural, instead of rabbit, singular, or saying white rabbits instead. I've even heard one said you must also say brown rabbits at night whilst walking downstairs backwards to reap the rewards of the utterance. It is also not unheard of. Instead of luck, you may receive a gift, which in retrospect also sounds pretty lucky. Who doesn't like a present? A tradition not related to luck, but said to be related to rabbit, 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 is saying bunny, rabbit, I love gray rabbits, I hate gray rabbits or white rabbits around a campfire. This is supposed to stop smoke from blowing into your face. The origin is debated, but some relate it to rabbit, 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 while others relate it to a Native American story that compares rabbit fur to smoke. My late pet Momiji himself had a smoky gray coat, so I greatly enjoy the latter explanation. One of the most famous lucky rabbits is the rabbit of the Chinese zodiac. My first video on my YouTube channel was about Chinese astrology and the Great Race story. This story talks about the Chinese calendar where the years are represented by animals. The perilous tale of the rabbit is perhaps the most memorable excerpt of the story. So the Jade Emperor is called upon a race across a river to decide which 12 animals get to be immortalized by the calendar. By the time we meet up with the rabbit, the cat has been tricked by the rat, left sleeping at home, unable to compete. The rat is taken first by taking advantage of the ox. The ox is taken second and says nothing, either too good-natured or too mortified to speak up. And the tiger swam using her own strength to take third. The tiny rabbit tries across, darting from rock to log and whatever dirty thing he had to hop to. He's making good time. He wasn't all that far behind the tiger, if you could believe it. The rabbit grew anxious, however, afraid to lose his spot to another animal. He lost his footing and fell into the river. The rabbit despaired, wondering if he'd be able to finish the race at all, but he found a log floating by and grabbed onto it tightly, and to his surprise, and delight I'm sure, he began to float towards the finish line. It was revealed to be none other than the dragon who provided the breeze to the rabbit in his hour of need. I interpret this as the tendency of the rabbit to attract abundance, blessings, and good luck. After all, it was the rabbit alone among the racers who was aided by the dragon, who is a symbol of divinity. Remember earlier when we touched on gambling and luck? Well, I suppose I cannot put this off any longer. Now it is time to address the infamous magical object and friend to gamblers, the rabbit's foot. The rabbit's foot has long been used as a luck amulet around the world. I read it has been used among the Celts as far back as 600 BCE. However, I will be focusing on its use in North America in the hoodoo tradition, since it is closer to home and the context seems to have the most available information. And needless to say, don't try this at home. So besides being a lucky animal, what makes a rabbit's foot lucky? Well, as it turns out, you can't just amputate just any paw off of any old rabbit. There are rules. The rabbit must be caught or killed in a graveyard. The foot must be the rear left foot and must be cut off in a graveyard, preferably on a headstone, on Friday the 13th. There are also variants, including the rule that the rabbit should be killed by a silver bullet, or that the person making the amulet should be cross-eyed. Some say the foot itself should be carried only in the left pocket for maximum effectiveness. If you've been listening to the details of this charm's creation, you probably caught on to the associations are actually a bit unlucky and backwards. The left side is often called the sinister side. It must be done in a graveyard. Friday the 13th is associated with ill fortune, etc. As it turns out, rabbits are sometimes believed to be shape-shifted witches, just like black cats. So the potency is chalked up to being part of a witch. Once again, please don't amputate any body parts from any witches you may know. They may be lucky. I have no way of knowing, but I can't advocate that from an ethical standpoint. In addition to being a popular gambler's charm, it's not uncommon for actors and actresses to keep a rabbit's foot in their makeup boxes for help remembering lines. Rabbit's feet have also appeared in blues and folk music. Bizarrely, There'll Be a Hot Time in Old Town Tonight contains a section of the lyrics that say, and you've got a rabbit's foot to keep away to hoodoo. So I suppose they were trying to fight hoodoo with hoodoo. It's also worth noting, before moving on, that most of the rabbit's feet bought and sold today are artificial, and this has been the case for a while. So if you ever owned a rabbit's foot or seen them being sold outside of an authentic hoodoo store, don't be too upset. It probably isn't an actual rabbit's foot. Now, since we've discussed rabbits on good luck today, I only thought it fair we should share at least one instance I've heard of rabbits being unlucky. Apparently, there is a sailing superstition that says saying rabbit on a boat at sea is bad luck. This was allegedly because the devil may disguise himself as a rabbit. First satanic graveyard witches, and now the Prince of Darkness himself. Why do these malefic beings keep disguising themselves as rabbits? On an unrelated note, my Western and Eastern astrological signs are a goat and a snake, respectively. I'm not saying it's related, I'm just saying it's interesting. Now, I'm going to give you an opportunity to answer a couple of questions in the comment section of the video, if you feel compelled to do so. Number 1. White rabbits are mentioned specifically a few times in this video. Do you believe that the pelt color matters when it comes to bringing luck or prosperity? 2. The Zodiac Rabbit fell into river, but still managed to finish 4th in the Great Race. Do you think he was lucky, or was he prosperous? Why? 3. Would you ever own a rabbit's foot? Why or why not? 4. What is the most interesting thing you learned in this video? And 5. Do you have any RabbitLore questions not featured in this video? And with all of that, I want to thank you so much for watching, and, well, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.